Hello, welcome to the Citrus Garden. If you're new here, my name is Christina. If you're not new here, hi, welcome back. It's great to see you. This is a reading for Sagittarius season or for the month of December, however you would like to frame this. I'm doing all the signs, so you'll find the timestamps in the description box below. Feel free to watch your sun, moon, or rising sign. I think it may also be helpful if you watch the sign for where you have Jupiter in your chart, because Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, and your North Node. So the focus of this reading is going to be what may be expanding or changing for you in this season, in the month ahead. It is coming through with a lot of Wheel of Fortune energy, which is a Jupiter energy, change in fortune, new opportunities, perhaps some good luck. I feel like there's going to be a lot of growth and success that's happening in the season up ahead. So based on the signs, we'll go into what that might be for you. So new opportunities, change in fortune. I'm also getting, because it's Sagittarius season, the Temperance card in the tarot, which to me represents, first of all, being patient, of course, but it's also about knowing when to take the new opportunity when it arrives. So perhaps you've been waiting for the right opportunity, and there may be a bunch of opportunities that are being presented to you in this time, and knowing which one is the right option for you. So that's also something that may come up. So again, you can watch Sun, Moon, Rising Sign, Jupiter, or North Node. Those are the ones that I would recommend. You'll find all the timestamps in the description box below, and I will see you there. Hi Aries, let's get started with your reading. The cards are so beautiful. So for you, we have here Romance, Celebration Party, the Fan. Then the Eagle, which says Triumph over troubles and obstacles. And then the Heart, which says Love, Deep Affection, and Caring. So Aries, what's expanding for you in this time frame ahead is all of this beautiful love energy. So whether or not it is like a relationship, because you do have the Love and the Fan card, it doesn't have to be. It's just feeling like you're moving forward with a lot of heart energy, which is including love, right? You have a lot of really lovely cards. It's like whatever it is that you're moving towards or moving forward with, it's like you're moving forward with a lot of love. We'll just leave it generally for that. But if it is that you are like looking for a relationship or partnership or whatever it is, I feel like that's also on the horizon for you, if that is your focus, right? But whatever it is that you are moving forward with, you're moving forward with a lot of love, and that's really lovely for you, Aries. At the bottom of the deck, you have the Six of Materials and the Knight of Voices. So these two cards, the Six of Materials talks about like, it's talking to me about like a partnership that reflects you, right? And because of this partnership, there's a lot of growth and creation that happens within this dynamic. And with the Knight of Swords is something incoming, perhaps a message or a lot of fast movement or an epiphany or like a new understanding or realization about perhaps what you want or what it is that you're moving towards or whatever. It's a really lovely energy. And then here with these two cards, we have the Movement Speed and the Peace card. So I'm actually seeing you, Aries, as being sort of like, well, I'm seeing this as both of your energies, but I'm seeing you more in this peace energy where it's like you're just peaceful, especially because you have this card here, the four of Voices, which is an energy of sort of rest and meditation in order also like inspiration and peace, right? But I'm also noticing all these rose petals. So it's kind of like being in this vibration of peace or being unbothered or just like maintaining your peace is attracting perhaps a specific individual or just like a lot of different partnerships or just more of this energy, right? It's like because you're holding this vibration of peace and rest and meditation and whatever else this Four of Swords represents to you, it's attracting more of that energy to you, because you have here the movement speed, which I love. So it's coming through as being like, first of all, you are moving forward really quickly because of this energy of peace that you're in. But at the same time, I feel like there's also another energy that's coming in here, or just like a lot of new opportunities or things to move towards. This is a very Aries card to me, because I feel like Aries energy likes to move very quickly, right? Like it's a fast moving, with a lot of purpose and play as well is included in this card always for me. So it's a really lovely energy for you, Aries. The triumph over troubles and obstacles, I feel like you're going to be feeling this as well, where it's like there's a lot of freedom to move. Things are moving quickly. It's like there any sort of like troubles that you may have been working through recently will be solved through just like being peaceful about it, is kind of how it's coming through. And you also have here, like, which I really love, this Page of Cups. The Page of Cups to me always talks about like heart-centered action, right? Because you're choosing sort of like love and peace, it's making you very attractive to that sort of energy, right? It's like more peace and love is coming towards you because of that. It's also, for you, Aries, I feel like you are really glowing is what's coming through here. There's a lot of like outward expansion of your energy happening in a lot of the cards here, right? All of this sort of like energies coming from you, right? All of this, like, all of your light is being, perhaps, I don't know how to describe it. Like you're just glowing. You're glowing, Aries. That's what I'm seeing for you. Okay, and then what you have next here is you have the Three of Inspiration, which is talking about like this is where things start rolling, is kind of how it's coming through, right? Like perhaps you've been doing a lot of preparation or like pre-paving or like metaphorically setting up all the dominoes, right? Like doing a lot of preparation is kind of how it's coming through. And this is where it is, things start rolling is kind of how it's coming through here, which is really interesting. The next card out you have is the Hermit. So this might be you, right? It's kind of feeling like, or it might also be like someone with Virgo in their chart, or I'm also kind of getting Aquarius with the eagle. So this may be somebody with a lot of Virgo or Aquarius in their chart, where it's like perhaps there's somebody here who's at perhaps quite a distance to you, is kind of how it's coming through. They might be at a distance to you, but it's kind of like, or in isolation in some way here with the Hermit, or they're just doing a lot of soul seeking or like internal reflection, that kind of thing. But it's kind of like because of the energy that you're in, Aries, where it's like you are emitting this vibration of love, right? From your heart chakra, all of this love that's coming out, it's like they're seeing your energy from a distance. So if this is somebody new, it's like even if you don't know them or whatever it is, it's like they're perhaps feeling inspired to move towards you, even if they don't know that they are moving towards you, right? They're making choices perhaps that will bring you into an experience of coming together, especially with the Four of Voices here. It's like they're just following the light is what's coming through. They're following the light and it's going to lead them directly to you, is kind of how it's coming through here, which is really lovely, because I'm seeing these as like the domino path, right? It's like the dominoes have fallen and it's like they're following this path that's going to lead them right to you, is what's coming through for you, Aries. But it does feel like they are at a distance, because at the bottom of the deck for this card, you have the January card. So for you, this might not happen until January, especially because the Aquarius energy is coming out, that it might take you until like the end of January, which is when Aquarius season starts, right? So you have to get through all of Capricorn season. But you have here the horseshoe, good luck, and the target, which says a goal-oriented person. So it's like, stay on target, Aries. You don't have to necessarily change anything about what you're doing, because I feel like the energy that's going to allow this to move faster, or at least have the appearance of moving faster, is just maintaining this heart, love, peace vibration that you're in, is what's coming through here. Because the next cards, especially with the target, right? A goal-oriented person is like, stay focused on your goals, stay focused on what it is that you're working towards. And then you have here the wheel, right? Which is looking like the target. This to me also talks about moon cycles. So it could be like, because when I'm recording this, we're in the full moon in Gemini. So it could be something like whatever the next full moon, or what the full moon in January, whenever that happens, might be a significant time frame, or it's just talking about like time is a important factor here, where it's like, stay focused on your goals, right? It's like this connection is not going to move any faster if you do anything. It's kind of like it's coming to you. This individual or partnership or whatever this is, it's on its way to you. The only way that you the only thing that you need to do in order to call it in faster is just to remain in this Page of Cups, where keep shining, Aries. Especially with these cards out here, you have the Seven of Inspiration, which always talks to me about like using your light to hold open this portal, right? To allow in this energy, because for me, this talks about like having to push back against darker energies, or like energies that may try and impact your vibration as well, or impact your happiness, or protect your peace. That's what this is talking about. Continue to protect your peace. Because the more that you do that, the more that this light is able to shine, and the more that this one, whoever they are, can make their way towards you, is how that's coming through. And especially because we're ending here with the Five of Voices, which talks to me about stay focused on your goal always, because there may be energies here where it's like, I sometimes call this as like distractions, but it's kind of just like, it could be fear, it could be doubt, it could be any sort of like energy where it's like, it's focusing, it pulls you into a lower vibration, where it's like you're focused on fear or doubt or worry, anxiety. It's all of that lives in this space, where it's like, focus on the goal, focus on what it is you're moving towards. For you, it may be until January. It may be sort of like a thing where you have to get through this December, just focusing on protecting your peace. But just remember that you are triumphing, is that the right word? You're finding triumph over troubles and obstacles. You're moving forward, right? By just maintaining this energy of peace. So Aries, I'm going to leave it there. If this message resonated with you, please like, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. It helps so much. Thank you for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye. Hi Taurus, welcome to your reading. So let's get started here. We have the overall context here. So you got 4 cards. I was only pulling 2 for the other groups, but 4 of them came out for you. And 4 is a very synchronistic number in your reading today. So a lot of stability, or it feels like there's a change happening here. You have the tortoise at the bottom of the deck, which says slowly but surely getting ahead. you are moving forward with something, Taurus, but perhaps at like a slow pace is kind of how it's coming through. And you have 4 cards here, which is really interesting. So these ones you have here, the pleasure and the hot moon extremes. And then you have passion and the soul, and then resistance, which is interesting because it's kind of like there's 3 cards that are talking about passion of some sort, right? All of this fiery energy. So there's an opportunity, I want to say just generally, that's igniting all of this like passion, pleasure, movement forward, that kind of energy. But then the one card to sort of tie it all in is resistance, which is talking about like there's something about the situation that's like perhaps you're slowing yourself down is kind of how it's feeling, in a way of like you're not wanting to move forward too quickly, or like there's something about this situation that's causing resistance where it's like you're holding on really tight to something, but you are moving forward. It's just kind of like, it's interesting because like 3 out of the 4 cards are talking about all of this fast movement, and then this card is somehow the dominant energy out of those ones, right? So it's kind of like, I feel like maybe there's part of this resistance here of like the 6 of Pentacles, of what you can give to the situation, Taurus. This is what this card is talking about. I feel like there's resistance about like what it is you can give in this situation, like whatever that means to you. With the King of Swords here, right? It's like offering the truth is kind of how I'm seeing this today. Like you have truth to offer is kind of what's coming through here. There's some sort of truth maybe that you're having to, or like if it's not, it doesn't have to be truth. It could just be like there's something that you have to say or something like that that you have to give in terms of like your words or your intellect or your discernment or your clarity that would be useful in this situation. But anyway, so the first couple cards here, you have Inkpot, problems to be resolved. And then you have Lobster, financial pinch, right? So you may be in this kind of energy where it's like you are getting ahead, you're moving forward. There's some sort of maybe like new project or new opportunity that you're moving forward with, but there's resistance about it, perhaps because of like the lobster. There's a financial pinch associated with this opportunity. And maybe that's where it's like you're holding on to that. Like, perhaps whatever this new opportunity is requires like an investment of resources of some sort, or it's like perhaps that's what's prompting you into the movement, is that there's a financial pinch. But anyways, so we have here the Ring card, which says a marriage will take place either romantic or business. And then you have the Weeping Willow, a family sorrow, which is really interesting that these 2 cards are coming out. And then in between that was the Grasshopper, which says situations in the balance that require careful handling. So I feel like that's your energy, Taurus, because it's kind of like the careful handling with the resistance. Perhaps there's all of this energy, right? That's very passionate and very fiery. But you're trying to be careful about it, or there's like an energy of caution of like, this is gonna like move at the pace that it needs to, or perhaps it has to move at this slower pace for whatever reason. Anyway, so, but there is movement. You are moving forward, Taurus. So the first card out, you have the Death card. So I would also watch the Sagittarius reading because they also started with the Death card, where this Scorpio season may have been a very transformative time for you in terms of like letting things go, or like working on solving a particular problem or whatever that is, or just like a period of like rest and recovery, because the next couple cards out you have are the Four of Swords and the Four of Cups. So 2-4 energies again, where it's kind of coming out with like, So perhaps taking time out to recover from whatever Scorpio season revealed for you. There was a lot of like heavy energies in Scorpio season, and especially because Scorpio is your opposite sign, where it's kind of like there was a lot of change and transformation. Perhaps that's it. Maybe there was a lot of change and transformation that happened for you in the last couple of months. And so it's like you're trying to hold on to some aspect of your stability, right? That might be it here with the Four of Swords and the Four of Cups, because these are both very stable energies, or doesn't quite feel like stable, but like quiet or like non-movement. It's like holding on to some aspect of your peace while a very significant change is happening around you, perhaps. I feel like this is also talking about like having low energy with the Four of Swords and the Four of Cups. Like perhaps just feeling really tired, or not having a lot of motivation perhaps to like move forward or deal with like some sort of problem. Which is really interesting though, because it still feels like with the ring here, there's some sort of like union type of energy that's like what it is you're working towards, right? There's a lot of this like passionate energies that you're working towards, but almost like taking it slowly is what's coming through here. Taking it slowly. It's interesting, these two cards, the Weeping Willow and the Grasshopper, where this Weeping Willow was reminding me of Harry Potter, as it does, where the Weeping Willow was this sort of like, the Whomping Willow in Harry Potter was this sort of like, a structure that was put in place to keep outsiders from going into a place of like where like this is where Remus Lupin went to transform every month into a werewolf, right? So there's like the willow was put there to protect that space. So it could be something here with a delicate balance, right? It requires a particular I want to say that there's something that you're protecting. It could be like protecting yourself from a very difficult transformation is what's coming through here, Taurus. Like maybe there's some sort of like family sorrow, maybe, but it could be just an energy where it's like I'm getting kind of like this energy of like, not everybody knows this about you, or like it's something that you keep to yourself is kind of how that's coming through. But it's like, if you were to move forward with this, there's like, you'd have to let go of this, or like you would have to reveal this, like reveal what's in the hand. Again, with the Six of Pentacles, right? It's like, in order to move forward with this, you would have to reveal what's in the hand there. Whatever it is you're holding on to, or whatever it is that is you're protecting, perhaps. Or like, it could be like something like a secret space, or like something that only you know about yourself or about the situation. And a situation in the balance that requires careful handling. It could be also as well, I'm kind of getting like this energy of like, because of the willow coming out, and like I was talking about the werewolf, in that story, Remus Lupin has this person, so they're coming out with the Justice card, very fiery. It's kind of feeling like this is the change that would happen. Like, this is the one who's bringing all the change, is kind of how it's coming through. But anyway, and that's in Harry Potter. Remus Lupin has the love interest, whether or not this is a person or just the opportunity or whatever it is that's igniting all this passion. Taurus, this one is feeling like Tonks, who's the one who's like the love interest for Remus, but because he has this condition of being a werewolf, he rejects her proposal because of this sort of like feeling like, you know, I don't know. This feels like just, I don't know, Taurus, if this is taking it too far, but it's kind of feeling like this one deserves better, or this opportunity deserves better, or like I don't deserve this. That, or if it's not that, it's just feeling like there's something about the situation where it's like the aspect of sorrow or pain is the thing that is holding you back from this energy, is kind of how it's coming through. Because it's like the reasoning behind this is because he didn't want to pass on the gene to like future children, like that kind of thing. So it might be something like that, where it's like perhaps there's something about something that you're keeping safe or protected because it's an aspect of pain or resistance or sorrow of some sort, where it's like you don't want to bring that energy into the new opportunity, is kind of how it's feeling to me, Taurus. Anyway, this reading's getting long. So what's coming out next here is you have the Two of Wands, the Four of Pentacles, and the Nine of Pentacles. So again, Four of Pentacles, like another four, right? You have 444 in this reading, where it's kind of feeling like, because the Four of Pentacles traditionally talks about like feeling like you don't have enough resources, and so you're holding on tight to them. That's what this is looking to me like, especially because there's the card about financial pinch, right? Maybe you're feeling like you don't have enough, especially because this one's coming through. This opportunity, let's call it, is coming through as the Nine of Pentacles, which is like Marilyn Monroe. She has everything, is kind of the energy that's coming through here. Like what it's kind of coming through is like, what could I give to this situation? It's kind of like Taurus. You have so much to give here with the King of Swords. Anyways, you have here the High Priestess and the Sun, which is talking about like trusting in yourself, right? Like this trusting in yourself, trusting in what it is that you can give to the situation. It's like the resistance is coming from this aspect of like the sorrow or something that you're keeping hidden, perhaps that you don't want to share with this one or whatever, because there's an energy here of like pain or something that you don't want to pass on to the other person, I feel like, or like the opportunity or whatever. But you have so much passion here. There's so much passion and happiness with the Sun card. With the High Priestess here, I feel like this is talking about like use your intuition. I feel like there's also like this energy as well, this opportunity, perhaps already knows on some level something about this, or like very intuitive as well. But anyways, you are moving forward. It slowly but surely you're moving forward. It's kind of just like wanting to perhaps highlight this area of resistance where it's like 3 out of the 4 cards are talking about all this passion, all of this new opportunity and all of that. But there's the resistance, something that you're holding on to, perhaps having to do with family sorrow of some sort, or a secret, or some sort of like sadness or whatever that is that you're not wanting to bring into the next situation. I don't know, Taurus. I'm going to leave it there. So if this reading resonated with you, please like, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. It helps so much. Thank you for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye. Hi, Gemini. Welcome to your reading. So we're starting off here for your energy. You have growth and abundance, which is so lovely. So there's going to be a growth in your abundance this time frame. I feel like it's it's starting off here because the first card you have here is the goldfish, which says increase in material wealth or spiritual growth. I feel like it's both for you, right? Like a material wealth increase, but also specifically coming from like, because you're increasing your spiritual growth, it's causing an increase in your material wealth as well. That's kind of how I'm seeing this, right? Like spiritual growth causes an increase in material wealth. So I feel like this time frame ahead for you is really focusing in on your spirit, like your spiritual growth, learning new things perhaps. It's this goldfish energy is reminding me of Ted Lasso. So be goldfish. I feel like there's this energy here of like not letting things get you down, because I feel like you are moving forward on this path of yours. Because you have here the mountain road. You are on the road to success, which is really lovely to see. But it is a mountain, meaning it is sort of like this uphill climb where you may be faced with challenges or things like that, especially because it's the next card coming out here is the bull, which says do not back down from opposition, so show strength and fortitude, right? So it's talking about like there will be perhaps challenges ahead for you, but that you are on the road to success. And from Ted Lasso, like be a goldfish. Like when you meet up with opposition, don't back down. And also like forget all of the, like have a very short-term memory when it comes to like negative experiences or bad energy or whatever it is. Like if there is any sort of challenge, like deal with it and then sort of like let it go and forget about it. It's coming through as like the parrot, which says someone will gossip about all your secrets, and the yoke, which says feeling frustrated, especially with the bull, right? It's kind of like putting a yoke on a bull. So it could be something like where there's somebody who's like maybe feeling frustrated because there's somebody here who's like using gossip to try and hold you back or whatever that is. It feels kind of like it's coming through like words or like things that people are saying or whatever it is, because the first two cards here you have out are the King of Wands and the Knight of Swords. So King of Wands I'm seeing is you, Gemini. It could be both though. I feel like you're both. It's kind of like the King of Wands from this deck I always see as being like taking a really strong stance against something, especially with the Bull card coming out, right? It's like not backing down from opposition, taking a really strong stance, moving forward with a lot of action and purpose that has to do with your spiritual growth in some way, or like making a lot of actions that's going to help with your abundance or your growth or whatever. And then you have this sort of Knight of Swords energy that's like coming up against this, which is looking to me like somebody who is gossiping about you, or just like using their words in a way to knock you down or to tie you down or cause frustration in some way. And so like that might be the biggest thing. It's kind of like haters or whatever. Somebody who's just like not being encouraging or whatever that is. But Gemini, you have here the Six of Swords right after that. It's almost like be a goldfish. Forget all of the things that this person is saying or whatever this situation is. It's like you're moving forward. It's almost like using all of the frustration or the negative comments or whatever it is that's being said about you in order to help you move forward. Like all of those things that those people are saying perhaps are actually like things that are helping you move forward faster. So it's kind of like it doesn't really matter what they're saying. Don't back down from this. You are on the road to success. That's what it's coming through with. which is really lovely. So the next couple of cards here, you have the Bowl, which says plenty of material things. And then the Rainbow, which says the most difficult part of a situation is over, which is really lovely. Because it's like you perhaps went through a period where your spirit or your spiritual growth was challenged, right? Like you had to go through some sort of like shadow work or expansion, or just something to do with your spirituality was challenged, or like people were, I don't know, challenging maybe your authenticity or something like that. But it's like, don't back down. I feel like you've already learned this lesson, or it's like, it's just kind of feeling like you're going to come up against it again. But it's like you've already done all that work, so it's kind of like it's just a matter of standing your ground, perhaps. Because the most difficult part of the situation is over. And I feel like what's happening is that because of this spiritual growth energy that you're in, it's leading to an increase in material wealth as well with the Bowl. What I'm also getting here is there's a big theme in your cards here about nourishment. So it could be in terms of like actually what you're eating, or like the food that you're eating, or things like that. With the Bowl here, and because of this is the bottom of the deck. You have the Ace of Cups and the Two of Wands, which I love so much. Spiritual love, and the Two of Wands talks about like making plans, or like moving forward, or like imagining what's ahead. But because of the Bowl energy and like this, like this Two of Wands always looks to me like chopsticks. So I feel like it's talking about like what nourishes your soul, what is nourishing to your soul. So it could be materially, but I feel like it's starting from a place of spiritual, like what is actually nourishing to your spirit. What do you love? What creates an energy of love for you? What's actually nourishing for your soul? I feel like that might be the focus. And if you follow that path, like what's nourishing to you, that'll lead to an increase in material wealth as well, or a lot of material things. Plenty of material things, especially because you have these two cards coming out next, the Seven of Pentacles and the Seven of Cups. So double sevens. And I feel like it's talking about like, so again, with the Seven of Pentacles, because this looks like Gordon Ramsay, which is just emphasizing like all of this idea of nourishment. So food might be something that you're being asked to focus on, like what it is you're consuming. It could also be in terms of like media, or hobbies, or like what you're spending your time consuming, because that kind of input can also have an effect on like your success, like what you move towards. So choosing things that are actually nourishing to you rather than whatever, like fast food energy. Because the Seven of Pentacles talks to me about like putting in all of the preparation work, right? Like all of the prep that goes into like making yourself a meal, all of the like, it just feels like preparation. Perhaps like you're doing a lot of like pre-paving, or just like preparing things, or like gathering information as well, especially with the Seven of Cups. So you may be like, there may be a lot of new information or a lot of new material things to now consider, is kind of how that's coming through, like new energies to play with, or new options, like perhaps a lot of options, just like a lot of things to suddenly pick and choose. It's like you may be going into an energy of like being in like a buffet, metaphorically. There's a lot of food energy coming in to your reading, Gemini, where it's like you have a buffet in front of you of options. And so being conscious to choose the things that are actually nourishing to you. I feel like maybe there's a shift away from sort of this energy where it's like the Knight of Swords, the Parrot, something that maybe makes you feel good in the short term, but in the long term is not beneficial to your health or your well-being or whatever. So it could be something like that, where it's like stepping away from energies where it's like, it's fast, but it's not satisfying, right? Like it satisfies a craving maybe, but it doesn't actually nourish your soul or that kind of thing. So maybe something like that, where it's like you're shifting away from that energy and perhaps focusing in on more like long-term investments is kind of how that's feeling. And because of that, it's like opening up a lot of new options for you, or a lot of new energy to consider or play with or experiment with with the world coming out next. I feel like this is perhaps something where it's like you're closing out a cycle, in terms of perhaps some sort of like, perhaps there was some sort of spiritual cycle about like what it is that you're choosing to consume in terms of like your intake spiritually or otherwise, like what it is that you are choosing to ingest or consume or bring into your energy or space. And I feel like that's part of the energy that's closing out, especially. So it could have to do with like New Year's resolutions, like that kind of thing, where it's like deciding to make new choices or like healthier habits maybe, or focusing in on long-term investments or abundance that brings a lot of satisfaction and nourishment, rather than sort of like quick, easy fixes that satisfy perhaps cravings momentarily, but long-term do not have any benefit to you. That's sort of how I'm seeing this energy today. And then the last two cards, which is really interesting, you have here the Five of Wands and the Justice card, and then the Six of Wands, where it's kind of like with this Five of Wands, so it could be conflict or just challenge in general. It doesn't have to be conflict with other people, though it may be. It's kind of feeling like I'm just seeing this as like, if there's anybody who's trying to enter into any sort of conflict with you, it's like you don't even have to consider that, because eventually all of those like comments of hate or like hater energy is going to just elevate you further, is what I'm seeing about this, Gemini. You don't even have to like worry about this. It's like, you don't even have to engage with it. Don't engage with it. You don't have to engage with the conflict or the gossip or whatever. It's just kind of like, be a goldfish. Have a short-term memory for any sort of conflict that may present itself to you along this path. Because any sort of hate or negative energy is just going to further elevate you, Gemini. So I'm going to leave the reading there. If this resonated with you, please like, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. It helps so much. Thank you for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye. Hi, Cancer. Welcome to your reading. So let's get started. The first three cards that we have here are really positive. So this is your dominant energy, where you have Rose, which says romance is in the air. You have the Crown, which says honor and respect will come to you. And then you have Flowers, which is happiness. And the Bluebird also signifies that as well. So Flowers and Bluebird is what I'm seeing for you. But I feel like this is something that you're working towards. This is what you're going towards in terms of your expansion. However, in this time frame ahead, though, you also have these two cards where it says Hand and Scissors. So this one says in need of help, assistance, and guidance. And then the Scissors says disappointment in some affair. So how I was seeing this is kind of like, I feel like this is where you're coming from. Like you're already in this energy is how this is feeling to me. Because this combination of cards was kind of looking like rock, paper, scissors, right? Like the open hand obviously is paper, right? So with the scissors here, it's kind of like maybe this last round that you've just gone through, or whatever it is that you're going through now, is kind of feeling like scissors against paper, where it's like maybe there's been some sort of loss of some sort or disappointment. Perhaps you asked for assistance from somebody or a situation or something like that, but there was a loss or disappointment, or like you lost that round, for example. And at the bottom of the deck here, you have hidden secrets can harm you. And then underneath that, you have the mice card, which says discord among friends and family. But then a wish is granted, the wishbone, right? So it's like the Lover's card here at the bottom of the deck. Perhaps there was a relationship or a situation here with the Lover, something that you chose that had some sort of like secret, like it, perhaps it caused harm, because you do have here the Seven of Swords, which to me talks about like perhaps like holding on to secrets. So I feel like that's where the disappointment was, and like maybe you experienced some sort of loss or disappointment because there was something hidden that caused discord or whatever, right? Because you're starting off here with the Justice card, which is kind of feeling like perhaps this one talks to me about like consequences. So maybe you're just like dealing with consequences of whatever this is. It's like there was some sort of disappointment, or there was like something where you were perhaps asking for help or asking for assistance, but it's kind of like there was disappointment. You got your opponent came up with scissors, for example. But I want to say that there's something coming in that's balancing, because remember, your main energy here is this really lovely energy where it's like you're working towards, or you're moving towards this sort of expansion here with the rose, the flowers, and the crown. Because these two, this card is out next, the Two of Wands, which is talking about sort of like looking ahead, right? But it is kind of coming through with this sort of melancholy with the moon. This moon to me always talks about separation, or having to turn your back to something, or just feeling perhaps like low energy or like low emotions or whatever it is. But I feel like there's kind of like this there's this like, which is really interesting here, because you have the attraction magnetism and the acceptance card, the waxing crescent too, which is really interesting because again, you have the hands. This attraction magnetism card is kind of, because this looks like the moon energy, right? It's like you may be experiencing in this time frame ahead where it's like you're trying to make plans to move forward, or making new plans, or like having, I don't want to necessarily say you're starting again, but it feels like having to deal with the consequences of whatever the disappointment was, right? So having to make new plans, maybe. But it's like you're becoming magnetized to something new here. So it could be through like whatever this loss was, or this disappointment, it's actually bringing you towards some sort of like new relationship, or something that's going to make you really happy, or bring a lot of like honor and respect. Because I'm seeing this here as like the new thing that's coming in, the new thing that you're attracting in, because you're letting something go, is what I'm seeing for you, Cancer. Or that like something has been let go. It could, with this attraction card, I see this as being sort of like a childhood dream of yours, or like something to do with like an inner child dream or something like that, like something that satisfies your inner child, that may be coming in because of like learning from this experience. But anyways, I feel like there's a lot here of like, there's a lot of like, so you have the Knight of Pentacles and then the Five of Cups, which talks about sort of like grief or letting go or loss, right? It feels like you are moving forward though. I feel like that'll be like the main work that you're being asked to do in this time frame ahead of like in Sagittarius season, part of your work or part of your expansion will be just like, I don't want to say just, because it's not this is very important work. It could be having to do with healing, perhaps healing inner child work, maybe, or something like that, right? It's like having to heal or work through these emotions. That could be something that you're being asked to focus on. With the Knight of Pentacles, this always talks to me about like slow and steady, taking things one day at a time, being really consistent in your work, and also trusting the process. So that's sort of all of this, like, because you may be feeling sort of like up and down energies as well, where it's like one day you feel really good and you're moving forward and like you have all these plans, right? Like you getting a lot of inspiration perhaps, and then another day you may be feeling like really overwhelmed, or like there's separation, that kind of thing. Like, so there may be sort of like a back and forth, and it's reassuring you, like, trust in the process. All of this is part of the process of healing whatever this Five of Cups energy is. Because I feel like in this process as well, especially if it's a situation where you did not have a lot of clarity, right? Like it's like maybe something ended in a way that was really startling, or you weren't aware of like why it ended or whatever it is. I feel like that will be made clear to you with the Nine of Cups here and the Seven of Swords, because I feel like this is something like, this is like the energy of what it is that you're leaving. Because I often see the Seven of Swords talks to me about deception, right? Like deception, and like there were secrets. There was something unknown about whatever it is you were stepping into. With the Nine of Cups as well, this talks to me about some sort of like flashy show, right? Like they were like you know, like street magicians, or like people who like busk, or like, no, not busking. It's like people who like on the street will like do fancy tricks and that kind of thing. But it's kind of like they were like robbing you behind your back. Like something like that. That's just a metaphor. It's kind of coming through as like there was a lot of fancy tricks or fancy displays of magic or abundance or whatever, but it's like they were actually, it was causing you harm in some way that maybe you weren't aware of, but that it's actually going to reveal itself soon. But I feel like for you, Cancer, because the next two cards you have out here, the Four of Cups and the Temperance card, if you notice there's an umbrella over the head here, because it kind of feels like you were actually being protected from whatever it was that the situation that ended, because there was some sort of hidden harm being caused to you. And it's kind of like, even though it's disappointing here with the Four of Cups, that's definitely a card about disappointment, where it's like you were being protected from something that perhaps you weren't seeing, right? About the situation or about this relationship or opportunity or whatever. And it's kind of like perhaps that will be made clear to you during this time, where it's like you'll have like a realization about whatever that is. It's kind of like whatever the situation was taking too much from you in a way that it was harming you or whatever. And so the universe came in to like put an end to it, right? In order to protect you is what's coming through here. And so there will be an energy of disappointment, because it's not necessarily that your dream or your goal was misaligned, right? It's not saying that. It's not saying that your dream is not possible. It's just kind of like perhaps not with that person or not with that opportunity. It's like there's something better for you. It's because this situation had something harmful about it, like some sort of like Seven of Swords energy that was being hidden from you. And so I'm seeing like you are being protected, or you are being protected from whatever this opportunity was. So if anything's ending in this time frame ahead, it's because you're being protected from potential harm. That's how I'm seeing it. With this Temperance card, this always talks to me about when you let something go, right? When you free up energy, or you free up space in your energy, something new will come in. Because again, with this hand, having an open hand, right? In letting whatever this opportunity or thing is go, something new is arriving here with the Acceptance card, where it's like you let something go, and then it creates space for this new opportunity to come in, where it's like romance is in the air, honor, respect will come to you, and a lot of happiness. So Cancer, I'm going to leave the reading there. If this resonated with you, please like, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. It helps so much. Thank you for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye. Hi Leo, welcome to your reading. So we're going to start off here with these two cards. So it says the Equator, to make equal, and the Mystery, dark matter energy, which is really interesting. And also you have here the numbers 5 and 38. So Gemini's reading also had two cards where it was 5 and 38. So and especially with this card here with the to make equal. So the Gemini reading might be helpful for you. It could be that you're dealing with a Gemini, or that message may be resonating with you. But in your reading today, Leo, it kind of feels like there's resistance in moving in a particular direction. It's kind of how I'm seeing this. It's like you're receiving guidance, perhaps, or like perhaps there's an individual who is trying to show you a path forward here, but it's coming through as like whatever that change is up ahead, or like this new path or a new opportunity, or something that will lead to an expansion for you. It's coming through as like mystery or dark matter. I want to say that it's something that's just like confusing, or there's like not a lot of clarity in that situation, or for whatever reason it's causing a lot of confusion. It's kind of how it's feeling, or it just feels like there's resistance about moving towards that particular situation. So Leo, I'm just gonna leave it like that. The first card out here you have though is the ear, good news. And especially because it's kind of like this, right? With there's like a voice in your ear. It's like, so perhaps this information or this clarity is coming through like somebody giving you advice, or like good news, or something like that. Like maybe you're receiving good news about somebody in your life, or it kind of feels like it's like focused on a particular person in your life who is like doing something not to you, but like they're doing something that is like beneficial to them in some way. It could be somebody who's like really close to you, because the next cards you have out are the 10 of materials, and then the broken ring, which says parting of the ways in either romance or business. So I always talk about this 10 of materials as being sort of like either like a workplace, or like a family structure, or whatever it is, your group, your community, your material reality in some way, whatever is around you right now. But because it's coming out with the broken ring, this ring around the tree is being broken, is kind of how that's feeling. So if it's like, it could be like a job or like it feels like you're part of this community, and somebody in your community is breaking the ring, or breaking a pattern of some sort. It could be like a younger individual, because you have the younger man at the bottom of the deck. It could be somebody in your family who's younger, or something like that. It's like they're breaking the ring. I don't know what that means for you. That could be a bunch of different things. And then you also have here the caterpillar, which says things will not always be this way. A change is coming. So there's a change coming, and it feels like it's being perhaps like started by the star energy. So the Aquarius reading might also have a message in there for you. They could be an Aquarius. Or it's kind of just, if it's not that, like they don't have to be an Aquarius, but they're coming through with this energy of like chasing a dream is kind of how that's feeling. They're like, so it could be like somebody that you work with, for example, is leaving their job that you work together with and going off to chase their dream. And it's like, maybe for you, Leo, you're hearing about this, and it's like there's something about their decision to leave or their decision to pursue this dream or something that is stirring something within you, of like stirring up change, or perhaps like providing some sort of like new inspiration or new direction. But whatever that direction is, it's coming through with this mystery dark matter where it's like it's feeling like a challenge for whatever reason. This card also comes through with like generational trauma. So it could be something like they're breaking generational patterns or something like that with the star here. Like they're breaking some sort of pattern. Doesn't have to be generational. Doesn't even have to be family related. They're breaking a pattern. And it's, for you, it's coming out with the two of inspiration, right? It's like, perhaps now that this broken ring, like there's been some sort of like break in the energy. It's actually perhaps feeling like, and it was 555 as I said that, a lot of change in your life. It's causing a lot of change in the dynamics of whatever this 10 of materials was. And perhaps like you're also getting a glimpse of something in the future to come that may be feeling like a significant change, because that's how I'm seeing this. It's like you're getting like because of this focus that you have, that like this individual, or perhaps you, Leo, this may even be you, but I don't know, it doesn't feel like it. It's like, or just getting like an inspiration to go after a dream. Like perhaps you have a dream. This may not be a person, but it's like you have a dream, but it would require you to part ways with a 10 of materials kind of energy. So it could be that as well. This may not be a person. It may just be like you have a dream to do something or pursue something, but it would require you to part ways with whatever. And that might be the resistant energy. So what's coming out next, because what it is that you're seeing up ahead is this Knight of Emotions, which is coming, like the Knight of Emotions just is coming through with like a very overwhelming energy. Like it's like seeing a wave, right? Like coming in on the, like from the shore. It's that kind of thing where that could be very overwhelming. But the Knight of Emotions is also all this energy of like, there's a lot of love in this situation, but I feel like perhaps there's this energy here with the next card coming out, the Dragon, which says beware of self-delusion, where, and it's this is a tricky energy. It's coming through as being the 7 of Swords and the 8 of Swords, which is like, I feel like part of the self-delusion might be this energy of like feeling like you can't, like, or you shouldn't, or that kind of energy. It's like feeling like you can't move forward, that this is not something that you should do, or you can't. It just feels like that. Like maybe that's what you're saying to yourself with this self-delusion. I can't do this. I can't pursue that dream. I can't go after that whatever. I can't do this thing that I'm being guided to because it's shrouded in all of this dark matter. Like you don't know what's ahead. That's kind of what's coming through here with especially with the 8 of Swords, because that talks about like self-limiting beliefs. So I feel like there's something about like the self-delusion here is not about like, it's not about that you're like aiming too far. It's kind of like you're not aiming far enough is what's coming through here. You're not giving yourself enough credit perhaps about like what it is you can and cannot do, or like there's a feeling of stuckness of like, I just keep hearing I can't do that. Leo, I have no idea what this is about, but I'm just gonna leave it like that, because the Seven of Swords talks about like illusions, right? Illusions that are present while you move forward. Like when you step into some sort of new experience, there's all of this sort of like illusions of like fears that are reflected back to you, or like what ifs, or like what if this bad thing happens? What if something goes bad? What if something goes wrong? That's all of this energy of like I don't like the word self-delusion, but that's what it's coming through with. Like it's like a self-limiting belief, like I can't do this. So Leo, if you want to step forward, obviously you have a choice in this. No one's forcing you to go towards this. It's just kind of like the energy that's coming in is that this is something that would feel like a dream or a wish fulfillment, or has a lot of love, or has a lot of potential to be successful here with the Star card. It has so much potential to be successful. But if that's not something that you're ready for, then obviously that's not something that you have to do. It's just, I feel like there's something here about like, if you do choose to move forward, it would require sort of, moving through this energy here with the Two of Voices. So this card talks to me about like having conflicting beliefs, right? Having two opposing beliefs, and especially because it's coming through with Aquarius energy, it feels like something that's like opposite to you, or so maybe watch the Aquarius reading. That may help to like sort out this energy. It's kind of feeling like in order to move through this, if it is something that you want to move towards, you have to sort out conflicting beliefs in terms of like what you can and cannot do. Because it's something like there are self-limiting beliefs that will try and hold you back, right? So if you're framing any sort of experience with things like, oh, I can't do that, that's a self-limiting belief. So you have to find a way to reframe it, is what's coming through here. Especially with the Four of Pentacles, this talks about like holding on to things that, holding on because there's an energy of lack, or like feeling like you don't have enough, or it kind of feels, this card talks to me about like a long journey, right? Like it will take some work in terms of clearing up whatever this conflicting energy is. And you also have here the Muse of Inspiration, which is talking about like a trial by fire is what I always call this card. And I was thinking before I started recording, Leo, that you are the fixed fire sign, right? So fire to me is an energy of change, always. Like change, transformation, can be destructive as well if not used appropriately. And because you're the fixed fire sign, it's like there's something about your energy is very stable. I feel like, so I was getting kind of like you create change for other people by being very stable is kind of how it's coming through. So especially with this Ten of Materials, because this card always talks to me about like sacrificing individual needs for the sake of something like a family or a business or a job or whatever. So the external structure thrives because people in the family or the job or whatever, the individuals who make up this bigger structure sacrifice individual needs. So there may be something here about, like, I feel like especially Leo energy is so generous that maybe you've been giving a lot to a situation, giving a lot of your fire to others or to a situation in order to provide change and stability to them. But it's kind of like, so it may be like a shift in how you're using fire energy in order to create change in your life is kind of how it's feeling. And then you have here the Hierophant, which is talking about like spiritual guidance or like going on some sort of like pilgrimage to seek guidance. It's also, I feel like this is also talking about like a journey. So it could be like an inner journey or some sort of journey in terms of like, it's also, sorry, I forgot this one card, the Handshake. A meeting with a stranger could be important. So it could be something like you're making some sort of change, or that there's just change happening in your circumstances, whether or not you chose that or not. It's like there's change happening, and whatever that change is bringing you in contact with a stranger energy that could be important in shifting how you think about your life or think about this change, or think about whatever it is that's happening. There may be an important stranger energy that may be helping you in moving forward. So could be like a spiritual leader. It could be, I don't know, somebody with guidance for you perhaps, or who can provide guidance that may be helping you move forward, or to restructure any self-limiting beliefs that you may have about the situation. So Leo, I'm going to leave it there. If this message resonated with you, please like, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. Thank you so much for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye. Hi Virgo, welcome to your reading. So let's get started here. The overall context of your reading here, you have the new beginnings, the new moon, new beginnings, and then the Fury bushfires. So I will explain this a little bit more. I'm seeing this Fury bushfires as being something, perhaps something from your past. It could be an individual with a lot of anger is kind of how it's coming through, or like are standing in, well, I feel like they're trying to stand in the way of your new beginning is kind of how it's coming through. You also have here the Seven of Swords and the Three of Swords, and under that the 10 of Wands. So it's kind of coming through as being like an old relationship or an old friend group, because the first three cards here, you have Judgment, the Three of Cups, and the Knight of Swords. So this Three of Cups, especially coming out with the Knight of Swords, kind of feels like gossip, or I don't know, like false friends was what was coming through here as well. And they're coming out with the Axe, which says forces working against you. So it's kind of feeling like there's an energy here. It's coming through as like Three of Cups, where it's kind of feeling like gossip, right? I feel like whatever it is that you're moving towards, it's like you have a new beginning, or you have like this new opportunity. Feels like work related for you with all the other cards that are coming out. Some sort of new beginning or new work opportunity or something. But it's kind of like there are people in your work environment maybe, or like past relationships maybe. I don't even know if this is related to the new opportunity, that are trying to stand in your way of this new expansion. That's how it's coming through. With the Judgment card coming out, it's kind of like, because this looks like a zombie hand, so something that you've put an end to, or that has come to its natural end, but it just won't die, is what's coming through here. Like it won't let go, or whatever it is. At the bottom of the deck for the tea leaves, you have the Bag, which says something important such as a new job or a raise. And then you also have here in the main part of your reading, Desk. Pay attention to your work. So I feel like whatever expansion this is it has to do with your work or resources of some sort. Also, because you're a Virgo, I feel like it might not be that as well. It could just be like a bigger opportunity or just like your life in general. But perhaps this energy might be coming through your work is kind of how it's feeling. Forces working against you. Perhaps in terms of whatever this new opportunity is. Because you have here the stork, which says news of a birth or a new business opportunity. So much growth for you, Virgo, right? There's a lot of expansion in your energy for this time frame ahead, but it's kind of like there's still some sort of like somebody who has a bone to pick maybe with you, or just like they're trying. This card always talks to me about somebody who's trying to get in your way of something, right? They're preventing you from moving forward or something like that. But anyway, it's just trying to make you aware of that, because I feel like, first of all, they're not going to be successful in keeping this new opportunity from you, because you have here the dog, which says protection from a powerful friend, and also the wishbone, which says a wish is granted, right? So your wish is going to be granted because you have a powerful friend who's like facilitating this expansion or whatever it is. It could be something like, so this dog, it may be an actual person. They're coming through as being sort of like a water sign, with the King of Cups here, but it doesn't have to be. It's just, that's just sort of the energy that's coming through. So, you have support here. It's like your wish is going to be granted. You don't have to worry about that. But it's kind of like there may be this energy here with the Nine of Wands having to create really strong boundaries between this energy that's working against you and yourself, right? Like having to create very strong boundaries in terms of like whatever this person is. They're coming through with a lot of fire, right? Like a lot of perhaps anger or but anyways, whatever it is that they're coming to you with, it's because they're in a tower energy, right? There's all this fire. It's kind of feeling like there's like something about they're going through a tower moment, perhaps because like it was kind of coming through as being like, especially with the bag here, right? This, like you may be getting, like if it's people you work with, it may be something like you're getting a promotion, or you, even if it's not work related, it's like you have some sort of new start, some sort of new beginning, some sort of expansion where it's like your wish is being granted, some sort of new opportunity is coming towards you, Virgo. And perhaps this one is going through a tower moment instead, because I don't know, for whatever reason they have a bone to pick with you. Totally not justified, but regardless, that's just how the energy is coming through, trying to work against you. But anyways, you have here, I feel like this is another person's energy, the Magician and the King of Cups, where you're protected by whatever or whoever this is. This energy is helping to protect you from this Nine of Wands, because it's kind of like they're only, I don't know what this is. Like they perhaps feel like they were the one that were supposed to get the new job or opportunity. Right? So it could have been like you were both up for promotion, but like you have the new promotion and they don't. But it's like you're being protected by this King of Cups energy and the Magician. So it could be someone with water, or with, it could be Gemini energy as well. But anyways, it's almost like you don't even have to worry about it. I feel like it's just being made known to you because of this Ten of Wands. Because it's kind of like they may be doing it through like gossip or words, right? It's like it's coming through as being kind of like saying saying mean things or just like putting a lot of burden on you through like what it is that they're saying. Or whatever it is. So especially if you're feeling like any sort of burden about this new opportunity, it's like that's almost like not part of it. It's like that's the bushfire energy, right? Like that's where it's like becoming, it's almost like they're trying to distract you from actually doing your work, is kind of how it's coming through. But your energy, Virgo, you have here the Fool, which is so lovely, the Queen of Swords, and the Eight of Wands, right? Like, just focus on what it is that you're creating. Focus on, like, this new beginning that you have. With Joan of Arc, the Joan of Arc card, this talks to me about, like, a divine purpose. Like, being guided by the universe or spirit or whatever label you would like to put on that. In order to complete some sort of work, right? Like, so even if it's not like your job, it's like something associated with your purpose or what occupies your time, or like it could even be just something that you're working on for yourself, like something new, right? You're working on something new, whatever that is for you, that is divinely guided and is part of your purpose. And so it's kind of like if somebody's trying to get in your way of that, they're not going to be successful, right? It's like that you have protection from higher energies with this Eight of Wands. You don't even have to worry about it. It's just making this aware, like putting this in your awareness, because you may be feeling like it's this Ten of Wands, right? If you're experiencing any sort of like burdensome energy, it's like somebody is trying to put extra work onto you in order to slow you down, is what's coming through with that, right? They're like trying to keep you from moving through this new beginning by putting extra burden on you. And it could be just through like their intentions, like they may be sending you like bad energy or like gossiping about you or whatever that is. So if you're feeling any of that, it's kind of just like, be reassured that you are being protected, that their plans are not going to be successful because they're coming from a really negative energy. Their energy is coming from a Seven of Swords, Three of Swords energy. And if they manifest from this place, they're just going to get more of that, right? That's kind of how it's coming through here. So it's like, just focus on what it is that you're supposed to be working on, right? Just focus on your direction forward, your purpose, the positive intentions that you're setting out for yourself, this new beginning that you're working on, like your wish is granted, you have this new opportunity in front of you, go towards it, right? Like put your all into it is what this is coming through with. Just be aware that there may be people who are trying to put more burden on you or whatever it is that they're doing. It's very low vibrational and you don't have to worry about it, but you may be feeling the effects of it just because it's in your space. So Virgo, I'm going to end it there. If this reading resonated with you, please like, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. It helps so much. Thank you for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye. Hi Libra, welcome to your reading. So it's kind of an interesting one. For the overall context, we have here the masculine, which says lunar god, and resilience, the waning gibbous. So I'm seeing there's like a dynamic between a masculine and feminine in this reading. So fit yourself into whichever role is resonating with you the most. It feels like, though, Libra, there's an energy here of like feminine energy who's carrying a lot of burden, maybe here with the resilience card, like having to put in a lot of effort or carrying a lot of burden of some sort, and perhaps approaching another one, the masculine energy. It could also be like union within self, because you also have here the Fountain card, which in this deck is sort of like an extra major arcana that they included, which talks about like oneness, right? So it could be oneness, unity within self, feeling very whole and complete within yourself, but also oneness in terms of like with other people as well, right? With the community as a whole, with the universe as a whole. That's what this card talks about. And then underneath here, you have the Judgment card, which was talking about something to do with like reconciling your past, right? So it could be something like forgiving yourself for past actions or something like that, or like coming to terms with aspects of your past perhaps that have gotten you here. But I'm seeing a lot of healing in your energy in this combination of cards by itself. It could be that you are perhaps approaching somebody here with the owl card. Says good advice from a wise person, and then underneath that you have the camel, which says persevere and you will overcome problems, right? With the resilience. So perhaps you're approaching somebody with the owl. This is coming through as being, so it says wise, like perhaps gaining counsel, getting good counsel or good advice from a wise person. Because you also have the King of Swords here, which is how I'm seeing this as well. So it doesn't have to be another person, but it kind of feels like that. It could also just be two aspects within yourself, right? Like trusting some aspect of the King of Swords within yourself, which is talking about like having good discernment, clarity. That's also what came in with the Fountain, of like having this moment of cosmic clarity, of like knowing what you need to do next, or knowing what you need to do to move forward, or like take actions that will benefit you. I'm also seeing here with the two numbers here, you have 21 and 42, of something of like doubling up, right? It's a times 2 energy with the Judgment as well. Like with the 2 X's, it's like doubling up on something. Perhaps entering into a partnership of some sort may actually benefit you, is kind of how it's coming through, Libra. So that might be an area of expansion for you this upcoming season. So the first row of cards here, we have the Diamond, which says you'll be receiving or giving a precious gift. I always say this card is both, right? Like receiving and giving a precious gift. The Diamond also talks to me about like withstanding a lot of pressure, right? That's what creates a diamond. So if you've been in this period of resilience, of like having to carry a lot of burden, it was in order to turn you into a diamond, or like that's part of the gift, is kind of how it's coming through here. I feel like this is what's changing for you. So if you have been feeling like there's been a lot of burden that you've been carrying, or pressure or difficulty, it's like maybe you're seeking out somebody who can help you in that situation. That's kind of how I'm seeing this. And then you have here the Seahorse, which says family matters, and the Fair Man, which says dealings or relationship with a man with blonde, gray, or white hair. I don't think the appearance really matters here. It's, to me, whenever this Fair Man comes out, it's like somebody who is very fair or very just. So it could be somebody that you're seeking out advice from, right? This individual. Somebody who is very fair, perhaps somebody who, with the family matters, they could be related to you, but it doesn't have to be. But it feels like you're going to them with some sort of request, or like asking for assistance in some aspect of your life where you're carrying a lot of burden, is kind of how it's coming through to me. It kind of feels like, Libra, it feels like here with the 8 of Pentacles and the Page of Cups. So this 8 of Pentacles always feels to me like receiving the final puzzle piece of like a project that you're working on, right? Like putting in the final piece in order to complete some sort of structure or something like that. The Eight of Pentacles, I feel like you've been working on this already. This is something that you've already been working on. With the Page of Cups here, it's because there's a lot of cubes. You also have here the Emperor coming out a bit later, which is another cube structure. So you have, to me that always just talks about like structure, right? Like building something. You're building something, Libra. But I feel like perhaps there's one final piece that you're needing in order to complete this. And it's like you have to go and ask somebody else for that. Or it's like somebody else has that final piece. With the Page of Cups, this card talks about transmutation, like using emotional energy to transform an experience, or it's kind of feeling like something magical and very private is what that's feeling like, which is really interesting because the next cards to come out, you have here the Three of Swords and the Tiger, which talks about doing something risky or taking a chance. So this Three of Swords doesn't necessarily have to do with like heartbreak or pain or like the traditional meaning, although because the Tiger's out, I associate the Tiger with like trauma, like healing trauma. So it could be something related to that. So if there's been any aspect of your life where you have trauma or whatever that is, with the Resilience card especially, like that you've been doing a lot of work on healing, this opportunity or this next step or this advice from a wise person or something like that might feel risky just because it's coming from a place of like, this is something that caused pain in the past, or whatever that is here with the Three of Swords. This is talking to me about like vulnerability as well, like having to be very vulnerable in front of this person, perhaps because perhaps this is something that you've been carrying for a long time, or whatever. It's like just feeling like you're having to share something or make a request, or like you're taking a chance on something that feels risky because it's like it's feeling very vulnerable for you, Libra. So it could be something like entering into a partnership of some sort. But I don't know, there's something here about like, there's no hiding. You can't hide in this partnership is kind of how that's feeling to me. But anyways, the next couple cards that are coming out here, you have the King of Swords and the Emperor. So this is the energy I'm getting for the fair man, whoever that is. It's kind of coming. So King of Swords to me always talks about like having a lot of clarity, somebody that you go to for advice or counsel, or like has a lot of good ideas, a lot of communication. It's also kind of feeling like, especially because it's like the Eight of Pentacles came out before, something that you were working on that perhaps is like very, I don't want to say burdensome, but maybe it's just like you've been carrying it for a while and it's perhaps tired, like you just need a break or something like that. And it's like this one here with the Emperor can carry it quite easily is what's coming through here. Not to perpetuate like gender stereotypes, but that's just kind of what's coming through. It's like there's an individual here, because they have some aspect of mastery within this area of their life, they can handle this like burden quite easily is kind of how it's feeling to me. So it's like a partnership or a doubling up that removes a burden from you, and this one can handle it quite masterfully is what's coming through here. Especially because you also have here the Empress and the High Priestess, right? Which is further emphasizing to me that this is sort of like a partnership. It's like the Empress is giving this project perhaps, or whatever this burden is, to the Emperor, whoever they are, and it frees the energy up, right? It's like you're free to do something that's like not focused on carrying whatever this burden is. And again, it feels risky. I don't know. It feels risky. I feel like that feeling of risky or taking a chance is just coming from the fact that it's like exposing a vulnerability perhaps of some sort, right? It's like this resilience might even be something like carrying around a protective kind of energy. Like once you shed something that's very protective, that you've been protecting yourself from, it could just feel vulnerable because now you don't have that protective kind of energy. Could be something like that. But what you have next here is the needle and the thread, which says a sincere wish will be granted. Where I'm feeling like whatever this energy is, it's like you're taking a chance on something. Perhaps you're approaching somebody or asking for assistance or guidance or whatever, and it's like a sincere wish is granted in this dynamic, whatever that is for you. It's like something that you've been carrying around that is feeling like a burden. It's almost like it's like that the wish for this thing to be solved, this problem to be solved or whatever is being granted. And then you also have the beetle, which says good fortune, right? It's like whatever this opportunity is going to bring a lot of good fortune. And it's like something like a wish being granted, because the last two cards here you have are the Nine of Cups and the Three of Wands. So the Three of Wands talks to me about like pulling something in, right? Like manifesting something. It's like having that wish granted. And with the Nine of Cups, it's further emphasizing sort of like a wish fulfillment, right? Like like receiving something that makes you happy, or that it kind of brings in this energy of like doing something that you love, right? Because perhaps it's something like you've been having to focus on this sort of energy with the resilience, like having to like deal with all of this burden, but it's like somebody's taking that off your plate, or at least assisting you with that perhaps, so that you can focus on something that you love doing. It could be something like that, Libra. So that's an area of expansion for you for this time frame ahead. So I'm going to leave it there. If this reading resonated with you, please like, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. It helps so much. Thank you for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye. Hi, Scorpio. Welcome to your reading. So we're going to start off with this energy here. So you have Power, Full Moon, which I love for you, Scorpio, and the first quarter moon, Assessing. So whatever it is that you're doing it in your power, which is a very Scorpio energy for me. I feel like you're moving on from something, Scorpio, because you have here at the bottom of the deck, this talks about, so we have the Chariot, the Magician, and then you have the Emperor twice, which is really interesting because this Emperor looks to me like it kind of reminds me of like in parades and things like that, where there's like big blow up sort of balloons of these figures, whereas this Emperor feels a lot more grounded. So it's kind of feeling like, I feel like you're leaving behind this energy of like somebody who, it feels kind of like an energy of like somebody who like in like the sun god, if you're familiar with like French history, has a big talk, right? Like that, it's kind of like that, like somebody who's like that but really is not grounded in any way is kind of how it's coming through. I feel, and you're moving on from that, but it feels kind of like with the Magician and the Chariot, there's this period of like it's, I don't want to say slow going, but it's kind of like there's a period of transition that you're moving through with the Magician, because this talks to me about like sort of being in transit from point A to point B, especially with this Assessing card, because it might be that you're looking for a new area to land, or like a new whatever. You're in between is kind of how it's coming through. The first card out you have here, though, is the Angel, which says spiritual guidance and protection from harm. So first of all, you're protected from harm. Whatever it is that you're going through, it is divinely guided. It's kind of coming through, though, is like the bottom of the deck. So you have here the Fly, which says a period of ill health and depression. And then the Dagger, which says fear, worries, and tense situation. And then underneath that is the Unicorn. Use your intuition to make beneficial changes. So I feel like you're moving out of this place here, the Fly and the Dagger. So period of ill health or depression, or if there was like any fear or worries, that you're using your intuition to make changes, right? Because you're in your power is how that's coming through for you, Scorpio. So it's interesting, though, because we're starting off here with the Queen of Cups, which is your energy today, Scorpio, because she's sitting at the bottom of the ocean, right? And I feel that's a very Scorpio energy to me, going all the way down into the depths, which could have been this sort of energy of like, perhaps this past Scorpio season, or just however this resonates for you, perhaps you're coming out of this energy of ill health or depression or worries or whatever. Perhaps being in sort of like a state of emotional depth, right? Like feeling at the bottom, or feeling overwhelmed perhaps by certain energies. And it feels like you're starting some sort of new cycle is kind of how it's coming through with these two cards, the Page of Pentacles and the Six of Swords. So Page of Pentacles talks about a new start, and the Six of Swords is this sort of assessing energy, right? Where it's like trying to find a new place to land, like trying to find some form of new stability, or a new home maybe for you, or like a new place, a new space, a new energy to be in for the long term is kind of how it's coming through, but taking things sort of slowly with this Page energy. It's really interesting. You may be leaving like some sort of relationship is kind of how it's coming through. So you have here the Marriage card. Doesn't have to be a marriage, but it could be like some sort of contract that you were in, right? Like some sort of contract that you were in. And underneath that, it's coming through with Fire and February. So this Fire says strong emotion, passionate love or hate. So for me, Scorpio energy is very passionate. It's kind of like it can sort of go from one extreme to another. So maybe there was a situation like that, especially with this February, where it's like maybe there was a situation that felt very passionate, that perhaps in some sort of contract or relationship or whatever, where it's like it was up and down, hot and cold, love or hate maybe, but just like perhaps just bounced from extreme to extreme. But with the February card coming out after this, like I feel like it's kind of like putting an end to that, like perhaps getting to a place that's more stable, especially with these cards coming out. It's like grounding your energy in some way, because it's kind of like something, especially with the hot air balloon that's coming out a lot, right? Like a lot of hot air, a lot of this feels just like a stressful situation, whether or not it was like love energy or whatever. It just feels like a stressful situation. And so this energy is kind of just like putting out the fire wherever that was in your life. And then you have the Butterfly here, which is a change for the better. So it's kind of like perhaps you were in a period of ill health or fear or whatever, but using your intuition to make changes for the better is kind of how I'm seeing this, which is really lovely, Scorpio. So you may not actually know what this is yet. It's kind of like, I feel like you do though, with the Queen of Cups. If perhaps you were having to do like a really a deep dive into your own emotions on how you feel about a situation or whatever it is in order to make changes for the better, because this fly in the dagger, that's not an energy that you want to stay in, right? It's like if you're feeling fear about a situation, or if you feel ill, or if there's a depression energy present, that's not an energy that you want to stay in. So of course changes are necessary if you're in that state. So what I'm feeling here though is that it might be tied to a particular relationship is kind of how this is feeling. So their energy here is coming out with the Three of Swords and the King of Cups. So King and Queen of Cups, right? A lot of passionate love in this dynamic. Perhaps at one point, could also be hate as well. That's an interesting shift in the energy that may be happening. It's so only take this if this resonates. I'm not saying that this is going to happen for you in the future. I feel like you already know this because it feels like you've already started making changes in your life, and perhaps those changes are revealing to you how this connection was perhaps putting you in a Three of Swords, or that in leaving this connection behind, this individual might actually be in a Three of Swords. Because it's coming out with this King of Cups, because this one talks about like turbulent emotions, right? So it could be that this person has very turbulent emotional energy that they're struggling with. And how I'm seeing these cards is that like it's kind of like somebody who perhaps is codependent on you. So it's kind of like if you leave, or if you try and detach from them, they would like act out, or they would try and manipulate you by like saying, like being in this Three of Swords of like, oh, you're hurting me, you're causing me all of this pain by making changes in your life. So that's kind of the energy that's coming through for them, Scorpio. But it's kind of like you're being guided away from this relationship because you're being protected from harm, because it's kind of like this energy. I was trying to ask like what the Two of Cups, or what the King of Cups is, and came out with the Two of Cups. It's like they are, when you are together, your energies become entangled in a really difficult way. So it's kind of like if they're struggling, they will pull you into an energy of struggling as well, if that makes sense. And so it's kind of like you might have been experiencing an energy of ill health or depression because this one was entangled with you. So it's kind of like in order to stop that from happening, because that's not your energy at all, Scorpio, it's like you have to cut them off is kind of how that's feeling to me. You have to put an end to whatever this the strong emotions are. There's a lot of strong emotions within this one. Whether or not that's for you or just their own stuff is kind of how it's looking to me. Like they're dealing with strong emotions, so you also have to deal with that, is what that's looking to me like. I feel like that's not beneficial to you though, because how I'm seeing this, it's like the Three of Swords is their energy, and then underneath that you had the Nine of Pentacles, where I feel like this is you, Scorpio, where it's like something like this card to me represents happiness, where, and it's difficult to say this in a way that doesn't sound like selfish, Scorpio. I'm not at all saying that. I feel like this is actually like when you're on your own, you're in this energy, the Nine of Pentacles, extremely happy, or just like very satisfied, or abundant in your happiness is what's coming through here. And this one might be upset about that, is kind of how it's feeling. But the solution, if there is one, is not to join them in their misery, right? That's what this Two of Cups is talking about. It's like, when you engage with this one, it brings you into their vibration, because it's almost like their vibration is so strong in terms of how bad they feel. Their vibration is so strong and how bad they feel, or how strong their emotions are, that it pulls you in, is what that's feeling. Your emotions get tied up with this one every time you engage with them. And so, but like when you're apart from them, when you're on your own, when you're doing your own thing, when you make changes in your life that's like standing in your power, doing things that are good for you, that make you happy, your energy is this, the Nine of Pentacles. Incredible happiness and satisfaction is what's coming through here. It's effortless is what that feels like. And so here with the Four of Swords and the Seven of Pentacles, I feel like it's like getting peace about this situation. So it could be that this person was trying to pull you into their own problems, or like their emotional energy. Right? It's kind of coming through with this energy of like, if you leave, it's going to cause pain for me. That's kind of what it's saying, what they're saying. That's what I'm getting with these combination of cards, which is really, that's not a healthy dynamic, is kind of how it's coming through. So because it's coming through with this marriage energy, it feels kind of like a contract. So it could be like a karmic contract, or a karmic energy that's sort of being broken. There's some sort of entanglement. I feel like you're moving past that, or moving forward from that, Scorpio, with the Four of Swords, because this talks about like rest and recovery after Three of Swords, after a difficult period or a difficult break or whatever. And the Seven of Pentacles talks about like, well, it's more of this abundance, right? It's like you have all of this stability to work on what it is that you're supposed to be working on, especially if you have anything like here with the Fly, which talks about like ill health or depression. It could be very difficult to do work when you're in this state, but I'm seeing this as like you're getting sufficient rest, you're doing your work, you're planting seeds, you're minding your own business, or doing what it is that makes you happy and brings you abundance. But it's kind of like this one here is still has some sort of entangled energy to you, at least is trying to like pull you back in, is kind of what's coming through here. I feel like maybe by February that'll be sort of like a thing that becomes tied up and ends. But I'm not quite sure about that energy. So Scorpio, I'm gonna leave it there. This is an energy of expansion for you though. So again, I feel like you've already started making changes for the better for yourself, and to keep doing that. It's just being conscious of like, there's somebody here who's having difficulty with your departure, and it's kind of like, what are you supposed to do about that, Scorpio? Anyways, so I'm gonna leave it there. If this message resonated with you, please like, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. It helps so much. Thank you for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye. Hi Sagittarius, let's get started with your reading. So what's expanding or what's changing for you in the upcoming season or in the upcoming month? So first of all, you have the Dogs card, which says getting together with friends. So there may be an opportunity that's coming through your friend group is what I was kind of getting. It may be something like, because the first two tarot cards you have out here are the Death card and the Eight of Inspiration. I feel like the change for you is already happening, Sagittarius. With this Death card, it could be like the end of Scorpio season. Perhaps you were having realizations, or perhaps endings or transitions within sort of your relationships or people around you that might have been actually propelling you forward is kind of how it's coming through. Like perhaps you're going through an expansion process and it's moving you forward. What's interesting though is that you have here the Vulture card, which says depression, anxiety, and worry that someone is against you. Worry that someone's against you, which is interesting because you have here the Devil card, which is coming through like this, right? It's like you're moving forward. I feel like you have a desire to expand or to move forward or whatever it is, but then it's kind of like coming up against this sort of wall is kind of what's coming through, like where it's like, or an obstacle of some sort with the Devil. It could be, especially because it's coming through with like worry that someone is against you, maybe like feeling like there's an energy here that like if you were to move forward or if you were to go down this path or like pursue this new opportunity, there would be somebody who is against that, is kind of how it's coming through. And it's coming through as worry. Like maybe you're worried that whatever this change is might actually be like it'll, I don't know, rattle them or something, or perhaps not that. It's just that they would be against it, right? That they would become more of an obstacle or like something that you have to work through. What's really interesting, I pulled 2 overall cards here. We have the Home Earth and the Thunder Moon change, right? And I'm seeing this as you, Sagittarius, where it's like perhaps there's so it could be Capricorn energy here because we have the Devil and the Earth card and they're both number 15. So it could be Capricorn energy or like a Capricorn, someone with Capricorn in their chart, or that's just the energy that they're coming through with, where it's like you want to do some sort of new expansion, but it's like worried that there's somebody here that would serve as an obstacle is kind of how it's coming through, or that you will receive pushback is kind of how it was coming through to me because of this energy. It's like perhaps anticipating that this one will be opposing you in some way and that might stop you from moving forward. I feel like that's sort of the energy though that is shifting, because I feel like it's kind of like what I'm seeing here next. You have the Awakening card, which is the Judgment card, right? But it's kind of looking to me like this figure here is, or this individual, if it is an individual, is going through an awakening process is kind of how it's coming through here. So it's kind of like whatever change it is that you're making, Sagittarius, with the 8 of Wands, right? Like setting a lot of intentions perhaps, or just moving forward, or creating a lot of change in your life, right? Like creating a lot of change is actually causing someone else to have an expansion. So perhaps somebody in your friend group, right? And it kind of feels like they're going through some sort of awakening process where it's like they're seeing something that you're doing, or whatever it is, perhaps quite easily is kind of how it's coming through, where it's like you're changing a lot of things in your life. It's creating a lot of positive momentum and change in your life, and it's perhaps awakening, right? So it's like not that it's going to become an obstacle. It does feel like you do have to like move through it or something like that. It feels kind of like, because I want to get clarity about like what this individual was coming through with. So it says Rooster here. An arrogant, boastful person you should not cross. And the Finger, which says warning you of a problem either now or in the future. So it's coming through kind of like, so perhaps this is somebody in your friend group. The Rooster energy is just coming through as like somebody who's perhaps saying a lot of things that are perhaps warning you, right? So it's kind of like maybe you're, I don't know, starting something new, or like whatever that is for you. You're starting something new. You're moving forward with a lot of energy and momentum and creating a lot of change in your life, Sagittarius. And it's kind of like maybe you tell your friend about it, right? Or like your friends are seeing this change that you're making, and they're coming in with all of this sort of like, it's coming through like finger wagging, like, you shouldn't do that, Sagittarius. Be careful, like that kind of thing. That could be this devil energy. So not necessarily that they're trying to stop you or that they're against you in any way. They could be coming in with sort of like a, oh, that's not going to work, or you should be careful, or that kind of energy. Finger wagging is what I'm seeing with this. But Sagittarius, you have here the box, which says you will receive a gift. And at the bottom of the deck was the money path, that I feel like you are on this path here, as well with the 9 of materials at the bottom of the deck, where it's like you're moving towards a path where money is waiting for you to find it, right? Like you're going towards abundance, you're creating a lot of change. There may be somebody here who is expressing warning or whatever this is, right? They're presenting as being sort of an obstacle to your change. But I feel like what's going to end up happening is that through this change that you're going through, Sagittarius, it's actually going to cause an awakening for them, where they're going to either see the changes that you're making and it's going to enlighten them or something like that. Because I'm just seeing here, Sagittarius, you have here the 9 of Cups, the 9 of Emotions, and the 6 of Swords, 6 of Voices. So this 6 of Voices always talks to me about like moving over any potential obstacles with ease. It's like the universe is just like delivering you over any potential obstacles that you may face on whatever this path is. And with the 9 of voices here, the 9 of, that's the thing, they may be, this individual here, the earth sign or whoever it is that this person is, they don't have to be an earth sign. That's just how they're coming through here. They may be expressing their own anxieties onto you. So just be aware of that, especially if they're saying things like, oh, be careful or be cautious about this. Like that's their own anxiety that they're projecting onto you. So just be aware of that. With the 9 of Cups here for you, Sagittarius, it's talking about, to me, protecting your energy, right? Like keeping your emotions separate from whoever this is, because they may be here with the Muse of Emotions. This card, not always, but has recently been talking to me about emotional codependence, right? So it's kind of like, because you're moving forward, perhaps they are feeling like you are emotionally dependent on yourself, and perhaps they're feeling the loss of that. So they may be saying like, Sagittarius, you shouldn't go in that direction. But what they're not saying is that because it would take you away from this dynamic, for example. But then you also have here the Hanged Man, right? Which I always see as being like being able to see a new perspective, right? Like being able to move forward very quickly as well. It also talks to me about enlightenment, but in a way where it's almost like you're seeing, because of these sort of like 3 pyramids or triangles at the bottom, it's kind of like whatever obstacle it is that, or challenge that is being presented to you through this dynamic, it's almost like it's not a problem for you. It's kind of what's coming through. It's not even going to register as a problem. I feel like you're going to be moving forward really quickly. But it just might be that there are perhaps individuals who are seeing this progress or seeing this movement away from them. Well, ideally, the situation would be that they would be inspired by your movements and also be inspired to make changes in your life, in their life. That could be what this Hanged Man is, because it's like you're giving them a new perspective by creating change in your life is kind of how it's coming through. That's the ideal situation. Whether or not that happens will be up to that person, but it's kind of like Sagittarius. The guidance here is just to keep focusing on your movement forward, right? It's like you may be worried perhaps that this person is going to serve as a obstacle to you, or is somehow against you. But I feel like the guidance is that it's kind of like any sort of warning that they may be presenting to you is a reflection of their own anxiety rather than whatever it is that you're going towards. So, of course, if they are giving you valid advice, but to me, it just feels like they're trying to tell you what to do, or providing some sort of like caution because of something that they are afraid of, or something like that. But to me, I'm seeing this as being like your passage forward is protected, first of all, and that any potential obstacles that you may face, you're just going to move over them very swiftly, very easily, without any sort of like, it's not even going to be a problem for you. It's kind of how I'm seeing this, Sagittarius. So I'm going to leave it there. If this reading resonated with you, please like, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. It helps so much. Thank you for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye. Hi, Capricorn. Welcome to your reading. So we're going to start off here with these two cards, which says the Faith card, Worm Moon, and Marine Life Richness. So I feel like, Capricorn, you're working on something and having a lot of faith that this project is going to be successful is kind of how it's coming through. And you have here the Victory card at the bottom of this deck, which says victory in some endeavor, and the Ace of Pentacles. So perhaps you're starting something new here, or you're having faith that whatever it is that you're going through right now will be successful or victorious, or whatever challenge you may be facing, you're going to overcome it. That's what's coming through for your energy. The first card out here, you have the Ant, which says work, achievement, and success. Such a Capricorn energy, right? Like working hard for your success, which you absolutely are going to achieve. I feel like that's your main focus for this time frame. It's kind of coming through like, okay, anyway, so the Ant to me talks about community as well, right? Like working with your community in some way, or like sharing the load, or like it's a very collaborative kind of energy here. So perhaps finding success with community members. What's interesting though, you have next here is the Flute, which says disappointment in a friend or lover, and the Spear, which says heartache over what you no longer have. So there's something here about like, perhaps there's some sort of relationship that's perhaps caused disappointment in this space. It kind of feels like there's somebody with this Flute card, which is so interesting. Because I mentioned this in a reading like a couple weeks ago, or a week ago or something, about the musicians Outcast, and one of the musicians in Outcast, in the group Outcast, is Andre 3000, and he just released a new album, but it's like a flute album. So it's kind of coming in with this energy of like, especially with like the Ant, like community members, there may be somebody like a friend or a lover, or like somebody perhaps that you were working with maybe, who is like producing something that's like not their usual, or it's like something like that may be actually causing disappointment in some way. And with the Spear energy, this was looking to me like, yeah, because yesterday I was watching or rewatching The Hunger Games, which is on Netflix, not the new one, but the original Hunger Games, where it is reminding me of this scene where it's like in that movie, I'm not going to go through the whole story, but there's this one scene where the main character Katniss is going in for like some sort of evaluation. So like she has to like basically showcase all of her skills in order to get an evaluation from like the higher ups, like the people organizing the Hunger Games, in order to give her like a number to decide like how big of a threat she would be in the Hunger Games, or like how much impact, or like how potentially how much skill she possesses, basically, is what this number represents. So she's in the evaluation room, and when she steps in, because she's the underdog in that story, she comes from a district where there's not a lot of success, like historically hasn't been a lot of success. The organizers of the game don't value her right away. It's kind of like they almost like overlook her, or there's like they don't pay attention to her, right? So in that scene, when she realizes that they're not giving her enough credit for the skills that she has, she sends an arrow straight into the apple of the pig that they're about to eat. That's what's coming through here. And then after she does that, obviously everybody's shocked, and she kind of just says, "Thank you for your consideration," and then steps out. So I don't know what that has to do with your story today, Capricorn. That's just what was coming through, because usually I will watch movies or whatever that have perhaps a particular symbol that's relevant for the readings that I will do upcoming. So I feel like that's sort of what's coming through here. It's like perhaps you're entering into some sort of arena where your skills will be tested, and it's kind of like there's maybe somebody there or an energy there where it's like they're not giving you enough credit for your skills, maybe here with the heartache, or it's like there's disappointment in that. But and then you also have here the bat energy, which talks about take care, enemies are working against you, which to me is just saying that there are circumstances outside of your control that are presenting as a challenge, is how I'm going to leave it. And then you have the love card, which is lovely. This is the Astral House card, because the first card that you have out here is the Ace of Cups and the Four of Swords. So if there was any sort of heartache over something of that situation where it's like there's disappointment or whatever, it's like you are healing that with this Ace of Cups spiritual love energy. And you also have here the Sun, right? It's like you are achieving victory or success in some aspect of your life here with the Sun. A lot of new energy, a lot of happiness is what's coming through here. And with the Magician and the Queen of Pentacles, this is also talking to me about like you're creating a lot of things. With the Queen of Pentacles, that's a very Capricorn energy to me, where it's like you're nurturing, you're creating, you're here with the with these cards, it's like you're creating a whole bunch of new things and like nurturing it to the point where it is going to be successful, right? Where you're having a lot of success. What's interesting though, for the bat energy of like take care, enemies are working against you, to clarify that, we got the Seven of Cups, which to me is looking to me like perhaps confusion, right? It's like I feel like you're focused on your work in some way. You're focused on your work. You're focused on. So this is a caution that just may be coming through here. This may be something that the bat energy is saying of like, take care, your enemies are working against you, where it's kind of like, they may be saying things like, Capricorn, are you choosing something that, like, maybe you want to choose something different. Maybe that's what they're saying. because with the Seven of Cups, I see this as being like you have a lot of options in terms of like what it is you're choosing. So if you're choosing to focus on your work, then focus on that. But it's like, is there something else that maybe you're not choosing that you should maybe consider? I don't know. This is just a bias that I have, but I feel that like Capricorn energies will focus a lot on work, right? Perhaps to avoid other emotions, or like, especially if there's any sort of heartbreak or disappointments, like, okay, I'm just gonna channel this through my work, or so there could be that kind of energy. Anyway, Capricorn, just focus on what it is that you're focused on, because you have here the two of Wands and the Three of Wands coming out, right? Like, it's like you're making a lot of plans, you're putting them into action. With the Three of Wands here, like waiting for your manifestations to come in. I feel like there's kind of like this energy though of like it's going to require a bit of strength. Not a bit of strength, a lot of strength perhaps. And with the Queen of Cups here, just pay attention to how you're feeling, right? Like about the situation, especially if it's something like, because this card to me talks about like there's so much going on that you fade into the background, is kind of how this is feeling. Where it could, especially with the Queen of Cups, be talking about like an emotional overwhelm, or just like feeling like you're part of the furniture, or it's almost like you fade into the background is kind of what's coming through here, especially with the Seven of Cups. I feel like this is talking about like there's perhaps people in your environment where it's like their energy is being mixed up with yours, or that like you're choosing things based on like what's going to bring you success and what's going to bring you more abundance. But maybe it's like, maybe there's something here about like focusing on your emotions or how you feel, or love in general. But regardless, Capricorn, you are going to find success. You have here the Victory card, right? You've won something. You've achieved something. I feel like the energy here is kind of coming through with like, make sure that you're taking care of yourself as well. So I'm gonna leave it there, Capricorn. If this resonated with you, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. It helps so much. Thank you for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye. Hi, Aquarius. Let's get started with your reading. So we have here the Beauty card, waning gibbous for beauty, and the Sunlight card, which is really interesting. Because I feel like there's a big opportunity that you're moving towards, because you have here the carrot and the bell at the bottom of the deck, which says opportunity or windfall and announcement, where I feel like you're moving forward with something, or you're going towards an opportunity. With the Chariot here, it feels like moving forward, right? Moving forward with something. Then underneath that, you have here the Eight of Swords and the King of Cups. So you may want to watch Scorpio's reading, because it may be tied. I'm getting kind of like those two readings might be related for you, where it's like here with the Beauty and the Sunlight. So this Sunlight card talks to me about like a rare opportunity to witness or experience something. So I'm getting distracted by this light, and I feel like that's part of your reading today, where it's like there's something coming in here which is coming through with like beauty. But if you notice in the first card out, you have temptation. Temptation will test you, and it's coming out with the Apple card. And if you notice, there's like a snake that's camouflaged. So it's kind of feeling like there's something about like you're moving forward, you're moving forward in whatever aspect this is, but there's some sort of temptation energy that's coming through as being like a distraction almost, right? Like perhaps because it's a very beautiful opportunity or person or whatever. because it's also coming in with the Two of Cups. So it could be a relationship or just an individual who's coming in as... I kind of get this energy of like... with this card, I see this as being like Lion King. In Lion King with Timon and Pumbaa, where it's like not necessarily a bad energy, right? It's not necessarily a bad energy. It's just kind of feeling like Timon and Pumbaa were sort of like an energy of rest and healing is kind of how it's coming through, where it's like but in the end, or like as the story progresses, it's kind of like staying in that energy was keeping Simba from his purpose, right? So there could be something, and especially with, so if you do have Scorpio somewhere else in your chart, I would take a look at that reading as well, where it's like there may be some sort of relationship who are not necessarily negative energies, but it's kind of like when you focus on this energy, it becomes a distraction or a temptation of some sort, or it's just like it keeps you from being in this state, which is like the sunlight, a rare opportunity for you to go towards, to move towards. And it's coming through here. You have horse, short journey, and the well, which says family wishes coming true. Because it's kind of like whatever it is that you're doing, I feel like it's going to be a short journey, meaning it's not going to take very long. So I feel like there's some sort of opportunity, because it's coming out here with the Ace of Pentacles, right? Like a brand new start in terms of like something in your physical environment, perhaps that you're manifesting. Something that's going to expand very quickly is kind of how it's coming through, like making a wish and it's being granted, or like it just feels like it's going to move very quickly. Here with the Eight of Wands, where it's like this card to me always talks about like fast movement, like being carried through almost like without problems, without ease. It's just, or like with a lot of ease, I should say. It's a short journey. It's not going to take very long. Whatever it is that you're moving towards, is all of this sort of like... So what's coming out next here is the Hierophant and the Three of Coins. So this Hierophant talks to me about like almost like stumbling upon a secret, or like discovering something really life-changing that like expands your worldview or expands your perspective in some way. Because this of course talks about like spiritual guidance, but to me talks about like, from this deck specifically, talks about like learning something that like blows your mind or like changes your life or something like that. So that's what I feel like you're moving towards, like something that's very life-changing. With the Three of Coins, so it could have to do with collaboration of some sort with the Three of Coins, like working with others, or there's some sort of like family dynamic that might be important here. It talks to me about like support with this one, like you are perhaps holding up a structure or fulfilling some sort of wish or dream or opportunity, and like you have support from the universe to help you create whatever this is. That's how it's coming through. And then you have here the chair filled. Someone new is entering your life, which is coming out under the temptation is kind of how it's looking to me. So it's kind of like, because you're moving forward, there may be somebody new entering your life, but it's kind of... I feel like this is saying like somebody new may be trying to enter your life, but it's kind of like the chair is already filled is what this is looking to me like. So there may be somebody who's trying to like fill a spot that's already filled is kind of how it's coming through. Like trying to put, I don't know, trying to like put themselves on the saddle in some way, but it's like that position is already filled. That's how I'm seeing it. It's like the position of whatever this is already filled. But there may be somebody who's trying to like unseat this person or unseat you maybe, or whatever this is. That's how it's kind of feeling to me. Temptation will test you because it's kind of feeling like whatever that energy is, it puts you in this state is kind of how it's feeling. Page of Swords, Nine of Swords, and the Ten of Wands, where the Page of Swords to me talks about like being really tentative, like almost being shy, like hesitating a little bit in terms of like what you do and like your actions. It's like you have the answer but feeling too shy to like raise your hand. That's sort of the energy I get with this Page of Swords. So it's kind of like it may even just be like past versions of yourself, or kind of like with the Nine of Swords and the Ten of Wands, where it's like there's fear or worry or burden about this forward movement that may be holding you back in some way, right? It's like, it's so now it might not be a person. It might not be a person or a relationship. It's just kind of coming through, especially because it's kind of like this energy of like when it's a natural sort of human way of thinking to create images, like create meaning out of just symbols. So it's kind of coming through like that, where it's like there may be like, because you're moving forward at such a perhaps like because you're moving forward really quickly is kind of how this is feeling. There may be sort of this feeling of like doubting yourself. It could be like, or doubting the path that you're going on, or like there's just worry about this situation, or like, because this Ten of Wands talks to me about like, because there's a lot to handle, or there's a lot of things to do. It's like feeling like maybe you're going to drop it, or that you're going to drop the ball, or whatever. That's sort of what's coming through here. And it may be something about like the fears may be showing you something that's not quite there, right? It's not real, so to speak, but it's giving you the impression of something real. That's kind of what's coming through here. So it's like you may be experiencing something because of fear or anxiety, where it's like, what if this happens? What if that happens? And it's our natural sort of response to see patterns in things that are not real, or that are like it's kind of like filling in the blanks. But if you fill in the blanks with fear, you're going to see scary things, right? Like that, it's that kind of energy. So it has to do with like your path forward, right? It's almost like something like projections of fear. like worrying about something bad happening in whatever it is that you're moving forward with. But it's like that's an energy of fear. I feel like it's also coming through here with the Five of Cups as being an energy of loss, because I feel like there may be something that you're leaving behind, or some relationship, or it could even be associated with this Eight of Swords and the King of Cups, where it's like maybe you're leaving a relationship behind that put you in an Eight of Swords energy. I'm getting kind of like this might be like somebody who gaslights you with the King of Cups, right? Somebody who causes you to doubt yourself or to doubt your experience. It might be something like that. So maybe there's somebody who's trying to gaslight you. Aquarius. That's not a pleasant energy. It's like, so because Aquarius, here you have the egg, which says success assured with good plans and hard work, that you are moving forward. You have this golden opportunity to move forward. It's like a wish come true, and it's going to be very quick. It's not going to be like a long, arduous journey. It's like you're moving forward. You're going in the right direction, but there may be somebody, perhaps somebody that you've left behind already, where it's like they're trying to gaslight you into like saying like, I don't know what it is that they could be saying, right? They just cause doubt. They cause you to doubt yourself. They say things that cause you to doubt yourself, which is not an energy that you need in your life, right? It's like that chair's that like they're no longer welcome in your space. Like that's absolutely somebody that you should not be engaging with at all. Somebody who's trying to gaslight you. Okay, Aquarius. I'm gonna end it there. I just want to reassure you here with the egg that success is assured with good plans and hard work. I feel like you're working towards that. You're headed towards that. It's just kind of like if there is somebody, or it's like if when you interact with somebody and you get this energy, the 9 of Swords, the 10 of Wands, the Page of Swords, where you feel like you're hesitating or you're doubting yourself, it's like you don't need that in your life. You're moving forward with the egg. So I'm going to leave it there, Aquarius. If this resonated with you, please like, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. It helps so much. Thank you for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye. Hi, Pisces. Welcome to your reading. So let's get started here. So first of all, we have the blossoming, I want to say violin, flower moon, the flower moon, and the growth plants, which I really love. I feel like this is talking about, it's really interesting because you have like two energies here where it's kind of like flower, which is to me talking about like something that's a bit delicate, and then here with the growth plants, that's a very robust energy, right? So it's kind of like, for you, Pisces, I'm seeing you as being more of this feminine energy in this dynamic. But if it's not resonating with you, just flip it around, where it's kind of like there's perhaps, because the first card you have here is the Man, which says dealings or relationship with a man. So even if you are a man, this could be like you're playing sort of a role of being like a feminine nurturing energy, or that there's like just a delicate situation where I feel like you're trying to help somebody work through some sort of like period of expansion or growth is kind of how it's coming through. But it's kind of like maybe you're taking more of like a, I don't want to say backseat, but it could just kind of feels like your role here is more of like the tiny details, or there's a lot of big changes happening for a masculine energy in your life. Let's phrase it like that generally. A lot of big changes are happening for a masculine energy in your life. And it's kind of like there's a lot of like little details perhaps that you're having to work through because of all the other cards that are coming out. We'll get more into details about that. So again, the first card you have here is the Man. So relationship or dealings with a man. And then you have Kangaroo, unsettled times, need to plan ahead, which I feel like is what you're doing here. And then you have Funnel, which is period of frustration, lessons to be learned. So I feel like in this time ahead for you, it may feel a bit frustrating because you have here the Clouds, which says temporary problems, right? There are things that are having to be worked through in this period for you. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Gavel card, which says involvement with the law, which is really interesting because the first card out you have is the Seven of Wands. So clearly this looks like somebody who's like imprisoned, but it's metaphorical. I don't know if you literally have somebody in your life who's perhaps in prison or dealing with the law in some way. But just generally, metaphorically, it could just represent somebody who's in sort of like a period of stuckness, but that they are moving out of, right? Because this I'm seeing as being like getting out of the metaphorical prison, and then that's followed by the King of Wands, right? So this individual, this masculine energy, even if they're not a man, it's talking about like they're in a masculine energy, which is talking about like having to make a lot of changes in their life. That's what I feel like this individual is. So it doesn't have to be a man. It just is talking about whoever this individual is. It feels like a close friend or a close relationship. They're making a lot of changes in their life to free themselves perhaps from a stuck energy. And so they're going through a lot of, like, I feel like whatever it is that they're going through is just either it requires a lot of like delicate planning is kind of how it's coming through, or like there's a lot of problems to be solved for you, Pisces, within this relationship. It may be causing this sort of like period of frustration, or like it's kind of like you can't move forward until all of these problems are solved is kind of how it's coming through. But I feel like for you, because you're coming in with this sort of like clear focus and like, okay, let's handle each one of these problems one at a time, is kind of the energy I'm getting for you, Pisces. Especially because the two cards we have here are the Eight of Pentacles and the Five of Wands, which to me is talking like this Five of Wands always talks about like making minor adjustments, right? There's a lot of pieces that have to be arranged, also including planning ahead. So maybe you're looking ahead and trying to navigate through the potential problems that may come up. But having to make minor adjustments is what's coming through here. And with the Eight of Pentacles, it's kind of looking like, because this is where all the delicate energy is coming through. I'm not at all saying that you're like somehow like, it's coming through as being like a lot of strength through your feminine energy, whatever that means. So again, this could even be just like within yourself as well. It doesn't even have to be, though I feel like it is, because you have here the dog close up, which says pleasure with a close friend. So I feel like this is a close friend or a close relationship that you will be working very closely with in this time, where it's like perhaps there's somebody here who's trying to make a lot of changes, and perhaps they're coming to you because these two cards were facing one another, where it's kind of like this individual is perhaps making a lot of changes and asking you for assistance, for example, and because you have a particular like skill set or gift or something that allows you to like make a lot of plans or deal with delicate situations or make a lot of adjustments or strategize or whatever. It's like, it's feeling like somebody is coming to you with like asking for assistance in some way, right? To help solve their well, not solve their problems, but help them to plan ahead or deal with their problems or whatever it is. Which is really interesting. I feel like with the next couple of cards, again, with the period of frustration, this funnel energy, it's kind of like, if this is sort of like a close friend or like let's just leave it like that, a close friend, it's kind of like the next couple cards here you have are the Two of Swords, Seven of Cups, and the Hanged Man. Especially with these two cards, this is your card, Pisces, the Hanged Man, where it's like it may be putting you temporarily in a stalemate is kind of how it's coming through. Especially because it's like, if it's like something like your partner or something who's dealing with a lot of who has a lot of temporary problems, perhaps they're making a lot of changes, it's like your life is going to be affected by that as well. But it's like, it's kind of like whatever this period is, it's something that you have to work through together, to make plans together, to just like deal with whatever problem comes up. I feel like with the Seven of Cups though, it's like it's actually giving you a lot of energy to work with is kind of how it's coming through. Because I see the Seven of Cups as being like, like having new inspiration actually is kind of how it comes through, or like it comes through as inspiration or like creativity, right? There's a creative way in which you can solve these problems, perhaps, that you will be getting insight about, because it's like whatever these problems are, they, first of all, they are temporary, and I feel like whatever the problems are, it's actually bringing you closer to this individual, is kind of how it's coming through. It's bringing you closer to them, right? There's a lot of growth that's happening within this relationship through the trials that you are perhaps going through together, is kind of how it's coming through. It's strengthening your relationship is what this feels like, but it's gonna feel frustrating, maybe. But the last two cards here you have are the Judgment and the Ace of Cups, which I love so much. So this Judgment card always talks about like, excuse me, you will know when it's time. It may not be time yet. It's kind of like this, the trumpet hasn't blown yet, is what I'm always saying with this card. It's not quite time yet, but you will know when it's time. And with the Ace of Cups here, of course that talks about unconditional love and all of that, but it's like this is the expansion that you're going through. It's like you're going through an expansion of love through sort of the trials, perhaps, or the lessons or the problems that may be coming up. It's like those are, it's all turning into love is what's coming through, especially with this energy, right? It's like perhaps there's one big problem maybe here with the Eight of Pentacles. I don't want to call it a problem though. It just feels like maybe just like an obstacle, or like something that's weighing heavy on your chest is kind of how that's feeling, whether or not that's yours or theirs. It's like something that's weighing heavy on the dynamic, right? But that by the end of this period, or however long this lasts, it's going to be like releasing all of that, right? It's all of this sort of like, this big problem is releasing. It's like lifting a heavy weight off of your chest by the end of this, but you do have to work through sort of the period of frustration. It is bringing you closer to this individual though, whoever they are. And I feel like by the end of it, it's like, I feel like maybe it might actually be, because I was just seeing this card was covered by another card. It said fun. Dare I say it might actually be fun? Even though it's kind of like there's work, but I feel like maybe Pisces, you're bringing fun into the experience of whatever this challenge is, and almost like transmuting it, right? Like taking something that's very heavy and then releasing it into something that's like fun and beautiful and full of unconditional love. So Pisces, I'm going to leave it there. If this reading resonated with you, please like, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. It helps so much. Thank you for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.